Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. You know what a great gift would be this holiday season? The gift of crawl space encapsulation. Instead of unwrapping a package, wrap your crawl space. Now, I am kidding about the present part of this, but crawl space encapsulation from Southeast Termite and Pest Control can absolutely protect your home from moisture, mold, mildew, and insects. Southeast Termite and Pest Control, call them for your pest control, call them for termites. Call them about crawl space encapsulation. All right, let's welcome in the final member of today's panel. Last but not least, Chuck Cavaliers, longtime member of this show. You're finishing up your 20th football season.
Sure as heck
Thank you for being here.
And I feel every year of it, John.
All right, two quick questions in this segment. The first one, I'll start with Bob. Will this season be remembered for the many exhilarating highs or the one devastating low? Is it a season of what a terrific turnaround, or is it a season of what might have been?
You should have started with Chuck because I'm going to Cavaliers. It's going to be both. I think the high will outweigh the low. If you look back, what team is still talked about besides the national championship team?
85.
85 Sugar Bowl team. Mm-hmm. Okay. They lost a couple of games. They got tied in a horrendous blowing lead against. They tied 2 games.
Yeah.
But everybody remembers what they did at the end. I think the fact that this came at the end, if they had lost to South Carolina in September, I think 10-2 rules the day. I still think it'll rule the day, but with a little bit of, God, that was a great team. But
Chuck?
Oh, I think it has to be the highs.
I'm surprised. Okay.
But, I mean, it does. To me, it starts with getting ready to snap the ball for the field goal to beat Alabama. And what happens after that? If I'm going to do the story of this 2022 Tennessee football team, I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to go to where, heck, you were ranked number 1 in the country. Mm-hmm. Who saw that coming? And the winning streak. And we've talked about it, guys. Just about every team is going to have that one clunker somewhere along the way. Look how long Tennessee avoided having that.
It took 2 years before
It took
Heupel
2
had a
years
true
before you
clunker.
had that, and then it took, disciplinary action. So, yeah, it has to be the highs.
He says it'll be the highs.
I'm going to remember it for the highs. But if you're asking what the majority is going to remember it as, I'm going to say blowing an opportunity. And here's why. If you ask Tennessee fans what was the most harmful loss that you've incurred in the last 25 years, they're going to tell you it was a loss to LSU in the 2001 SEC championship because you could have played Miami for the Rose Bowl, in the Rose Bowl for the national championship. Who remembers that Tennessee went on the road and beat Notre Dame? They went on the road and beat Alabama that year. They went on the road and beat Florida. Who remembers that?
Yeah.
I do.
So, thank you, Chuck.
This is positive.
So what I'm saying is the majority, I think, will look and see blown opportunity. I mean, you remember the Buffalo Bills losing 4 Super Bowls, but you don't think, hey, they were great to get there.
4 straight Super Bowls?
They
That's
lost
hard
4.
to do.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I think the majority of people remember this as a missed opportunity.
That would make a really good poll.
It should be remembered for the highs.
I agree with that.
I agree with Jimmy, though. People tend to, you know my saying, wins are like haircuts. You're always going to need the next one. Losses, scars. You never get over them. They never go away. That's a scar. I think it sticks with it. Next question. And if you read social media and listen to some of the shows, you know why I'm asking this. Are any coaching changes necessary? Specifically, there are people that say you can't win if you still have Tim Banks. Got to get rid of Willie Martinez.
absolutely not. I would not change a coach on that staff. If you look at their defense, they were bad at times. They were also pretty good at times. I mean, you had, 3 games this year, I think, where your defense laid an egg. South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia could have scored more points if they were trying against you.
Even Florida,
their defense was average or a little bit better than average.
Florida threw for 450.
Yeah, but they only got 33 points, which in this day and age,
in
this day and age, I mean that's.
Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't change.
Here's the
I wouldn't
stat I'm going to throw
fire
out there, guys. Where do you rank nationally in pass defense?
Okay, well, pass defense. Go ahead.
All right, 130th out of 131. So I'm not saying necessarily.
Thank God for Ohio.
Thank God for the
Bobcats
Bobcats.
of Ohio.
I'm not saying necessarily you make changes, but if somebody has an opportunity to go somewhere else, I've got a legal pad with some names on it.
Ah, okay. I'm not saying make changes, but
even
you got an
then,
opportunity.
you,
All right, look.
you lose a lot of defensive backs.
You were beat up all year.
Your pass rush, I don't think, was as good as a lot of people thought it would be.
Nowhere near.
You know, so I look at what they did defensively with the injuries and the losses. McCullough missed a couple of games.
Quickly, don't change coaches, change personnel. That's my
Bingo.
thought.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
You need better players.
Improve the personnel. Let me show you something. This is why I was hurrying. I've stayed up to 4:30 doing this, so I'm getting it in there. All right, I went back to look at defenses. These are Art Briles' Baylor defenses. You see the ranking nationally in total defense, scoring defense, and then the rank. And then those are Josh Heupel's years as a head coach. Total defense, scoring rank, the national rankings, and then the record. All right, what you see in total defense, there's a red number down there. That was 2012. Folks, you remember Sal Sunseri here at Tennessee? Remember how bad that year was? I'm guessing Daniel Hood does. Baylor's defense that year was worse than Sal Sunseri in Tennessee. They went 8-5 with this offense down at Baylor, but they were worse than Sal Sunseri. You look at Tennessee's numbers, the shutout yesterday, the yardage you get, you're going to be better. You're 30 places higher in scoring defense than you were a year ago. You got better as a defense overall in scoring. 0 points to Vandy, 6 to Kentucky, 13 at LSU. Your D came through and won the game at Pitt. I don't make any changes. Look at the averages here. It's about the exact same as what you had at Baylor. I just don't think you're ever going to have – nobody plays shutdown defense except Georgia, first of all. I don't think you're going to be able to play shutdown defense or great defense with this system. You're going to have to make big plays and be aggressive, and I think they've done that.
Yes.
They had one horrible game, but you don't fire people over it.
It's about the Jimmies and the Jimmies.
Yeah.
The Joes aren't any
And
good.
not the Jimmy Himes.
And I don't even have any Joes on this set.
Yeah,
We
that's
just
right.
got the Jimmy. All right, very good. When we come back, on a side note, but one thing to watch is, do they lose any offensive coaches? Does Texas A&M come after Alex Golesh or something like that? All right, when we come back, let's dive into the Vols poll and bowl outlooks. Where will they be ranked? Where will they go bowling? We'll debate that next. Come on back.